Morning everyone. I thought you'd like to see a new kit that's been sent through to me. This has been sent over by Aerocraft, and it's a 72nd scale model of the Fairey Type 75, which was part of the GOR 339 project during the 1950s, which was a tactical replacement for the Canberra series at the time. It was for a strike and reconnaissance aircraft that eventually spawned the TSR-2. So this was one of the paper projects that project created, and I think actually one of the more interesting designs. There's some really nice designs. If you were to Google the GOR 339 project, you'll see a whole slew of different machines, this being just one of them. The reason why I wanted to show you this kit is because this is, I guess, testament to the strides that resin kit producers have taken over the last few years to embrace 3D printing. This kit is entirely 3D printed, and I think you'll be interested to see what it looks like when I open the box. There's quite a lot of parts in here, but it's a really interesting kit of a really interesting design. So we'll take a look. So inside you can see there's a whole bunch of parts. There's no instructions with this kit. The instructions are online, I think, so I need to check into that. I received the kit last week and I haven't looked in too much detail to it, but I have taken a look at the parts, and so far I'm really impressed by what Aerocraft have created for their new and quite involved 72nd scale aircraft kit. You can see that the box is full of a whole collection of bags. Each of these bags includes the main parts, and they're separated sensibly into collections of pieces so that you're not kind of hunting around. This bag here includes all of the parts of the engine. This bag here is wings, tail planes. Here we have the main fuselage parts and the larger sections for the engine nacelles. Here we have weapons, cockpit. I think there are bomb bay doors in here and part of the internals. This is a section for the cockpit, undercarriage, and then these look to be part of the bomb bay. So you get everything sort of separated out so that you're not kind of hunting around. As you can see, if I tip this bag out onto here, you can see that the parts are really well printed. This is the cockpit interior. This was the first thing that caught my imagination when I saw the kit. Obviously printed in one section. You can see, if I hold this up to the camera and the camera focuses on this nicely, that it includes all of the instrumentation within the cockpit. But not only that, it also includes the control column printed in place. It's really impressive. So if I just bring the camera up so that you can hopefully see it in a little bit more detail. There you go. You can see the quality of the detail within it, and you can see there, just here, you can see the control column has been molded or printed in place. As with any 3D printed kit, there's an awful lot of these feeds that go into the parts that facilitate the printing. These shouldn't take too long to break off. In fact, I think they're going to be very easy to break off, as you can see there. So that's just the interior of the cockpit part. But that gives you a good idea of how the rest of the model was printed out. We have clear part for the canopy. This looks to have been traditionally moulded and cast in clear resin. Aerocraft have got quite a good reputation for being able to cast these parts, and that looks to be really nice. As with a vac form part, you're going to need to clean this up, and you're going to need to carefully locate it in place, and there may be some filling around the edges so that it looks like it's blended into the rest of the nose, but I don't think that that'll be too difficult. I prefer working with these resin parts than I do working with vac form parts. I've never really got on with vac form parts at all. So you can see how nice that looks. Moving on, we'll take a quick look at the larger sections here. you can see that this is actually a remarkably large model. This is a 72nd scale aircraft model, and you can see that it's a sizable beast. Because of the requirement, the original requirement for GOR 339, this is about the same size as a TSR2, so that gives you some indication of where we are with this. This has been printed hollow. You can see that there's nothing inside, and it's heavy as well. This is a heavy part. I think this model will be very substantial when it's completed. Detail is engraved across the surface of this, and it looks to be nicely smooth as well. Once I've cleaned this up and I've removed all of these feeds here, I don't know what these are called. I guess they're called feeds. I'll have to look into that. But once these are removed out of here, I'll get a better sense of how this goes together. I know, and I'll bring this to your attention later, I know that there's a slight adjustment that's needed with one of these parts to make it fit properly. But Alistair has, who sent me the kit, he's mentioned that to me and has said that there's a reworked part on the way, and also he sent me some information via the instructions that give an idea of how these parts will go together. But you can kind of see, I have not got small hands, and this is a big model. I think this is going to look really great when it's finished. So you can kind of see how it all goes together. Engine nacelles, these two things here obviously fit underneath the wings will go, so it gives you, unlike the TSR2 that had the engines in the fuselage, these engines are podded on this aircraft. If I show you this picture on the box top, you can see that the engines are podded here, and I think that gives it quite a distinctive look. Wings are included as well, obviously, because it's a full kit. So you can see here how these have been printed out. And these are really sharply printed as well. There are some, on the surface of this, there are some printing lines on here, but that'll take minutes to get that nice and smooth. In fact, what I might do with this when we build this is due to be built for Model Airplane and for Brett. So what I might do with these parts as well is spray them in primer and see how that looks underneath primer without any additional work. But you can see how well these are printed and how straight they are as well. Really very impressive. There we go. So main planes here. What I liked about this was that the pylons in which the engines hang, they've been very well designed so that they sit into recesses rather than just being pegged under the wing. And given that how heavy some of these parts are, how structurally important those would be, I'm really pleased to see that we have recessed troughs underneath the wing into which the engines will sit. Well, that gives me a way of planning this build as well, because I'm planning on doing a camouflaged one. Those engines would have to be added once the model was finished. So I would paint everything, paint the fuselage, paint all of the underside of the wings, paint the engine nacelles and their pylons separately, and then bring them all together. And that will allow me to create some structural integrity underneath the wings for those engines, and hopefully not damage any of the paintwork that I'm going to create for this. The kit itself does offer the chance of two different versions. You have what Aerocraft describe as a high visibility one. That's this one here that's got camouflage on it with, I guess this is white undersides for this aircraft, but they also offer a white version which mirrors the TSR2's finish, if anybody's seen the TSR2. So you can see that decals are offered for both of those versions. Decals are really nicely printed as well, and they're really well done. So I don't really like white aircraft that much. I'm not that great at spraying it, to be honest, and I find it very difficult to create something that looks interesting in white. So I think I will go for a camouflaged one. I may even go for a what if for this and do something a little bit later. So rather than having white undersides and these markings here, I might go for something that's a little bit more involved. I don't know yet. I'm not sure how I'm going to approach this kit. It's going to be sort of difficult to to narrow down what I want to do with that, I think. But there's plenty of options here. So you can see that if whichever version you buy, you'll get a single decal sheet. Here, these 2 decal sheets have been sent over so that I can choose for the feature. Alistair has kindly sent them over, so that's great. So that's it. That's Aerocraft's brand new kit. I think it's taken them a long time to get this to market because they've tried to research it as much as possible. Obviously this was a paper project, so that there wasn't a huge amount out there that they could use in terms of photographs and drawings. There were models, there were the drawings that were taken from the original proposal and that kind of thing, and they've managed to bring all of that together to create the kit, and done a wonderful job on it as well. Actually, I had the kit for a few days before I took a look at it, and had a look at it earlier on this week, and I have to say that I'm very impressed with it so far. This is due to be built over the next couple of months. It's not next in line, so I won't be able to show you exactly what it looks like until probably Easter time when it gets done. But I'm really looking forward to building it. This will be the first full 3D printed model kit that I've built for work, so I'm looking forward to seeing how that goes together. It's not the first time that I've built a resin kit from Aerocraft or previous companies from the hands of Alistair McLean, so it's not the first time I've done that. So I know what I'm expecting, and I know that it should go together and look great when it's finished. But I'm really looking forward to this. Really hope that you enjoy seeing it when it's finished. I'd like to thank Alistair for the kit. I'd like to thank him for sending it over, and to Brett as well, that's facilitated this. I think that it'll create a nice feature when it's done, and it'll be another paper project that I can add to my very small collection of these things. So I hope you've enjoyed seeing it. If you have enjoyed seeing it, I'm going to post some photographs on my website later on today of this aircraft, so you'll be able to rather this aircraft kit, not the actual aircraft, so you'll be able to see what this looks like in a little bit more detail in those photographs. So you can check this video out, check those photographs out, and then I'll also put the links to the Aerocraft website as well, so you can take a look at the choices that they offer. I also should say as well that this kit comes in 144th as well as 72nd scale, so you can choose whichever version you would like to build. From there, the website will guide you to the options. I guess there must be 4: this one, the white one, and then the same in 144 scale. I need to check that out, but I'll post some links so you'll be able to see that. Thanks very much for checking in. Thanks very much for your time, and I hope to see you again soon. Cheers. Take care now. Bye.